Hello everyone. Yes, you know what's in front of me. I let this guy sit long enough, and I'm going to explain why. There's 2 or 3 reasons why. First, life has just gotten in the way. Spent a lot of time with a girlfriend over Christmas break. We both had a 2-week vacation. Thought I was going to get a lot of model building done, but we took a look at the spring semester. She's a teacher, I run a small school, and our work schedules are not lining up very well for the spring semester. So basically I only get to see her on weekends for the whole spring semester. So we decided to spend as much time as possible together. On the flip side, that means I got a lot more time to build models during the week because our schedules don't line up. I get off work at the time she's going to bed. I can talk to her every day, but I can't really go see her because when I go to see her, even if I just say hi, it's 20 or 30 minutes. I can't just say hi and leave. There's a reason why she's my girlfriend. Second thing is the cockpit. Instead of doing what I should have, which is pulling this out and working on it for 15-20 minutes every day, I looked at the cockpit and went, that center console is all I got left to build on the cockpit. Then I got to do a little bit of lighting, which isn't going to take as much time. And I kept looking at it going, I need 4 or 5 hours to build that center console straight, solid, with no interruptions. And that's why I kept putting it off. I haven't been able to find that 4 or 5 hours. So instead, I'm going to start doing the little fiddly bits on this thing and start working on that here and there, half hour here, an hour there, and start getting this thing moving again so I can get her done. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to clean up all the flash on this and start getting it prepared. I got to cut out these vents, these 6 vents back here, because I got replacements for those 6 vents. I need to file off some details in certain areas. I went out and bought some brass rod and some steel rod, and I want to redo a lot of the piping on this. I may or may not do it. It depends on how much time it takes. Some of this just is begging to be done. Like this looks horrible right here. Okay? And redoing all of it would be a royal pain. So I'm just going to hit the ones I think look horrible. Like this one here too. Okay? The underside doesn't have as much of that. So I'll probably start with replacing piping on the underside. But once I get the flash cleaned up, what I'm going to do is get these little insert details out for the top and the bottom, and I'm going to greebly them up a little bit. I have a whole bunch of 1/72 tanks I bought just for greeblies in the back, and I'll get them out and just put little fiddly bits in there. I also have a couple other things I got from Trilliance. The gunwale kit, okay, and I have from Blue Moon the sidewall kit. They started producing these again. I got one. So I'm going to be doing the accurate height on this. I'm going to be doing the resin upgrade on the sidewalls. I'll review these when I get to them. I'm not going to review them now. I just want to get started on this. I've put it off enough. If I do a review, I probably won't do any building tonight. I'm building. One other thing I did do, and I'm going to show you guys this, because a couple of you know I got these. So let me set this aside. This is kind of a review, kind of not. Okay? You know I was working on these chairs, and I do this. I keep all my build parts for each model in little plastic bags like this, so I don't lose them. There's one of the chairs I scratch built. Here's another chair I scratch built. Let me get one of the figures out that came with the kit, because they are just freaky awful. Okay? And we already talked about them. I am not happy with the state of this kit, to say the least. So let me get the remote on the camera, and we can do some zooming so you guys can see these guys. Let me focus over here a little bit better. Okay? And here's one of the chairs I built. I'm not going to stand up without some sort of backing, so let me put a backing over here. Something for it to rest upon. I'm keeping it on camera. There. And here is the Chewbacca that came with it. Let's see if I can get it to sit in the chair on camera. Probably not, simply because this is little fiddly things. There. That Chewbacca just looks horrible, and I do mean horrible. So what I did is I cheated. I got on Evil Bay, or eBay for those of you who have a different perspective on it, and I did some looking. And I found a couple of things. So let me get my... No, that chair won't work. Let's get this Chewbacca out of here. And I got a new Chewbacca. What do you guys think? The kit Chewbacca or the new Chewbacca? And I'll zoom that in a little bit better. Let me get the other chair out so I can put them side by side sitting in chairs. And we'll zoom in so you guys can see them side by side sitting next to each other. Okay. I probably should have prepared this beforehand, and I didn't. There's the other captain's chair. There. So let's zoom in a teeny bit better. Oop, let's not turn the camera off them. And what do you guys think? The new Chewbacca or the old Chewbacca? I'm voting new Chewbacca. I also have, along with Chewbacca, let's back that off so you guys can actually see that, a C-3PO, and one last thing that came with the little set of these guys. A much improved Han Solo. I know this is Empire Strikes Back version, but these guys look so much better in the figures that came with the kit. They're Micro Machine figures, by the way. If you search, you can find them. They're not incredibly expensive. They're a little hard to get, and you have to be patient. I think I paid $5 with them with shipping. I'm not sure. I'd have to go look at my records. I also got a Millennium Falcon with it, and a couple other things for Greeblies. I got a Minoc, which you can't see. He's a little off camera. There we go. Let's get him on camera. I got a Minoc. I don't remember this guy's name, but I know some of you will. Oop, he wants to knock over Han. Well, he was flying. Him and Chewbacca were taking over Han's ship in Return of the Jedi. And I also got a miniature Y-Wing. So I got all that and a Millennium Falcon for, I think, $5, and it might have been $10, $5 shipping, something like that. 5 or 10, I don't remember. But I think these guys look a lot better, and if you just do some searching, you'll be able to find them fairly cheap. Okay? And they look a lot better in the figures that came with the kit. So let me quit rambling and talking about things I find on the internet and get building. Okay? I'm going to clean up some Flash tonight. Hello, everyone. I took a look at the Millennium Falcon. You can see the upper hole is in front of me right now. I got some work to do. I'm still trying to decide if I want to remove some of this piping and replace it with metal pipes, brass or steel piano wires. I have the rods. I'm trying to decide how much effort it would be to actually do that. Probably not as much effort as I think it is. But that's neither here nor there. I got a couple of resin upgrade kits for this. I'm going to do some reviews on those soon. But one of them has these little parts here, and these parts go here, here, and here. But in order to put them, I have to get rid of the surface detail that is already there. Okay? So I got my X-Acto knife with a flat blade chisel. I would use the Dremel, but its battery pack is in need of recharge right now, and it's in the recharger, and it won't be available until tomorrow. And I don't want to wait, so I'm getting the chisel blade out, and I'm just going to start scraping that stuff off. You know, scrape, scrape, scrape. And I don't want to go fast, because if I go too fast, I'm going to damage some parts that I don't want to damage. Also, this thing feels a little weak to me, so I'm about to get up, and I'm going to put some cloth or something underneath it. But you guys don't need to watch me chiseling off styrene. Just letting you know what I'm doing. I'm just taking the chisel blade on my X-Acto knife and slowly scraping the surface detail off that's there to make room for this. I mean, I could glue it over it, but it would look a little funny. Especially this one. This one has too much surface detail in the way. It's going to have to be removed. Anyhow, I'll be back when I get that done. See you in a bit. Alright, I want to show you one happy thought about using the chisel blade to remove detail is if you're really careful, you get to keep the detail intact. I mean, that just sliced right off. It needs a little smoothing and cleaning up where that was, but I mean, the thing just sliced right off there. If I'd used a Dremel, I would have gotten it off there too, but I don't think it would have come off there quite as nice. I did mess up on one spot, so I got the Ambroid Pro Weld out, and it's just going to look a little funny right where that spot was, but not too bad. Anyhow, I'm going to get back to my chiseling. Chiseling while you work. I think there's a song. It's kind of like whistling while you work. Chiseling while you work. Might work. Laters. Alright, just to show you what I'm doing. So I have my Blue Moon resin piece. Again, I'm going to review that in a little bit. But right down here, the bottom of the engine vents, here, here, and here, I've scraped away that detail. Now, this resin piece still needs some cleanup, so it doesn't sit in here 100% perfectly. And it's not sitting in there 100% flat, because it doesn't fit 100% right. Okay, you can see it's still overlapping some of these parts right here. It does sit about right there. Not 100% correct, but it's close there. And it does sit fine, almost fine there. Again, it's overlapping the top halves of these things. And I'm trying to decide if I want to take them off or not. Okay. Up next is getting these vents out so I can put those pieces in. I'm also going to make a jig for bending steel wires and brass wires, and we will see how successful I am at that. If I'm successful, it's easy. I might take a stab at replacing some of the surface detail up here with actual brass rods and steel rods. Some of it, not all, because they don't really look like rods to me. They just look like lines engraved in the plastic, especially where they go in these indentions. They look horrible where they go in these indentions. And those are the ones I primarily want to remove and replace because they just don't look right going in those holes. I mean, these look real bad. If you've got this kit, take a look at it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Those look real bad. So do these up here on this front indention. I've also been trying to decide if I want to do her landed or in flight mode. I'm hinging more towards flight mode, to be honest with you. Not that I don't want to mess with the landing gear or anything like that. It's just I like a dynamic pose of her coming up like this or something like that. I have my stand holding her up like this, so you can walk around and see the underside as well as the top side on the stand. So I'm thinking about it. We'll see what I get to when I get to it. Right now I got plenty of work to do. Also, when the Dremel's working, I'm going to thin off some of these sidewalls as well. And there's some notches that need to be cut in the sidewalls. I also need to do some cutting along here and free up these engine vector plates or whatever the heck they're called. Because they've got solid plastic in these grooves, and I don't think that's there in the original. I have to go look at my reference photos and see. I've got really good reference photos of this thing. So let me get back at this and get to work. Remove the Thunder/Tomo hair from her. And I'll let you guys know what comes up next in a bit.